Welcome to channel viewers. Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, Gosford, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. Just wanted to quickly share on covert emotional incest, the narcissism that comes with that, and the karma that comes with that as well. You've probably met these people. You were love bombed. You got all the story and the victim predator stories. They victimize themselves to predatorize you, and you felt that there was a place for you to fit into that person's life so that you could contribute something positive out of the life that you had made for yourself. Hopefully some of these people meet people that have really wasted most of their lives as well, and they become trauma bonded to them on the primo basis that they're same by way of culture, same by way of circumstance, they're the same by way of habit. And these people are already in and suffering under the karma that they have created for themselves. Now, you've got to understand, I'm sure many of you have heard this before, but the abused becomes the abuser, and I've been on the end of this. It's just the way it is. And many of you feel as though you are the answer in some way or other to this person or these people's problems, which is a form of toxic egoism. Because what you've got to understand is when people are culturalized to certain ways of life and certain forms of habit and certain ways in which they deal with things, it doesn't matter who you are. During the idealization stage where they're victimizing themselves and all the things that life have done to you to predatorize you, and you buy into that, this doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are, what you've done in life, or any of that. They might feel a sense of status from that. They might feel by being with you that they feel more important about themselves. They can mirror your success into themselves. They might feel that your health and intimate performance is a way of them reflecting back to themselves from you who they are. But as far as healing's concerned and all the rest of it, you can bring the light and you can shine that light. But that doesn't necessarily mean the benefits of the light that you're bringing to their darkness are not going to become aggravative to these people because they're used to the darkness. I've had them say to me, I want peace, I don't want anxiety, I don't want stress. And in the end, that's what was all they caused. And it wasn't a matter of yelling and screaming or big arguments and all this. There was none of that. It was a matter of unresolved. They just did not know how to or want to resolve. And usually the course of resolve was going to have to be through the disintegration of some triangulated situation. And that's challenging for some people because triangulations usually by way of value, they have a tremendous value for the third person, be it through an emotional affair, physical affair, emotional friendship, this kind of thing, family member. There is an element of value of that person in the mind and heart of the partner that you have that is going to be challenged not to disintegrate the triangulated situation. And then that's going to put stress on you. And then the stress that's on you will lay there, covert, but still causing trauma and stress. Now, I've tried to tolerate these stresses and, try to be able to manage these stresses and think that I can help these people through their troubles and trauma. And that's not how life works. It's just not how it works. You're your person, and if you're gaining energy and power and strength from the person that you're with and using that to encourage yourself and build yourself into the relationship, that's not a guarantee that the other person's doing that as well, because people have different levels and ways in which their values are displaced or placed. And one of the things that I've wrestled with and I've really spent many years trying to come to terms with is how much can you ask from somebody before you're asking too much. And I figured it comes down to the arrangements of the relationship. The next problem with that was how the relationship started is usually a platform to give you the governance and wisdom to work out whether it's moving forward or moving backward. And I've had relationships where, we've distributed our time between each other. We've given, taken, cared and shared. We've been fair with one another and, worked out things really well. And then all of a sudden, this is how you know that you're in trouble, in some kind of trouble. There's going to be a problem. Now the question is the problem legit, or are we dealing with a situation that's really not justified and now the trauma is going to begin? Because a lot of these people will do this to avoid responsibility and accountability within their relationship. That's what they'll do. And this is a way for them to protect their autonomy. They've sold you a picture that they've painted of how they think the relationship should be and go. And now that picture is being adapted and adjusted backwards. It's being painted over backwards. Come on, mate. Out you go. Out you go. I know you're tired. Come on. I know you're tired. Sorry, viewers. And things start going backwards. Now what do? You try and push in. And sometimes these people will breadcrumb you. They'll rise a bit, and then they'll go back a bit and rise a bit and go back a bit, rise a bit, go back a bit. And you think things are going to get better, and they don't. One situation that isn't resolved will be able to cause stress, anguish, suffering, torment. A lot of these triangulated situations can be coercive. They're trying to coerce you into submitting to some kind of power play that's going on behind the scenes. And that's going to cause a narcissistic injury if you don't buy into the delusion. Meanwhile, the picture's being painted over, and you're starting to realize that you're not building anything at all. This is just a exclusive relationship that by for the most part is a means of supply. And that brings you to a crossroads. Can I settle for that for the rest of my life? And the problem with it is, if there's no order, like in the last relationship I had, we were sharing time at each other's place. But when there was a psychological collapse by one of the family members at her place, well then I couldn't have been bothered going down there anymore, because it was just going to be too difficult and uncomfortable for her and the family member and myself. I really could not be bothered with what was going on. And then you have that conflict wearing away at the relationship, and then you have to decide, is this going to be fair or not? Is this going to be doable or not? And really what you're accommodating is a malfunction from somebody that's not even in the relationship, and they're driving it now by way of exclusion. And that's not healthy for anyone. There you go. So it's a loss situation. It's a loss for you. It's a loss for them. Nobody wins. The relationship deteriorates. And that's all there is to it. You need to consider these things. Can you manage an exclusive casual relationship, or do you want to build something deeper? And that's what you need to figure out. If you've got interferences, you need to figure them out as well. And fast, because trauma will affect everyone involved, and that's not fair. Come on.
Roscoe, don't do that, please. Stop it. No, I said.
What's he doing?
Trying to hump him.
Gee, he's a fit looking dog.